Hello everyone, thank you for attending this course. Today we will cover the knowledge about sustainable lending. Sustainable lending is an important way for smaller companies who are not eligible for issuing stocks and bonds to finance green projects. Let's move on to the agenda. So first I will introduce green loans and sustainability linked loans separately and covering their definitions, corresponding standards, and pros and cons. And then there will be a comparison between the two instruments, and finally I will wrap up with some practical examples. Slide 3 shows a simple framework of sustainable lending. Sustainable lending includes both green loans and sustainability linked loans, and they perform similar functions but with different rigorousness in the selection of the underlying projects. First, green loans are used to finance and refinance eligible green project in whole or in part. This is very similar to green bonds. And for instance, they are used to finance energy efficient homes and green projects in businesses, installation of solar panels, and development of wind farm. Several institutions elaborated a set of voluntary guidelines that provide a framework to clarify in which circumstance a loan can be considered as green. And one well-known framework are the green loan principles. Here is some information about the initiation entity and the most important point in that principle are voluntary instead of compulsory. So this is the same like the green bond principle or the climate bond initiatives green bond standards. So they are voluntary standards instead of compulsory regulations. So the Green Loan Principle established the following four guidelines, including use of proceeds, process of projects evaluation, selection, management of proceeds, and reporting. In terms of use of proceeds, funds are allowed to exclusively finance or refinance green projects as a promotion of renewable energy, energy efficiency, and so on. Project evaluation selection requires borrowers to communicate their environmental sustainability objective to the lenders. In this way, they can manage the environmental risk associated with projects. And in terms of management of the process should be credited to a dedicated account or tracked by the borrower to ensure the transparency. And finally, in order to fulfill the reporting requirement, the borrower must provide up-to-date information regarding the use of proceeds. In addition, a list of green projects to which the proceeds were allocated has to be provided. So using green loans can bring many positive impacts such as improving reputation, enhancing stakeholder relationships, getting access to new markets, meeting regulatory targets, and attracting and retaining qualified workforce committed to sustainability goals. Sustainability-linked loans, on the other hand, are loans which incentivize borrowers' achievement of predetermined sustainability performance objectives. So they are linked to incentive system that take a company's overall sustainability performance as a basis for evaluation by aligning long terms to the borrower's performance. So the borrower's performance is measured using predefined sustainability performance targets or SPTs and via some KPIs, key performance indicators. So the sustainability-linked loan principles offer a framework for the selection of KPIs and the calibration of sustainability performance targets. So for green loans, they have the green loan principle. For sustainability-linked loan, and there is sustainability-linked loan principles to as a voluntary guidelines. So basically, the KPIs should align to the company's sustainability goals and should be transparent and can be measured incrementally. And the SPTs should be applicable throughout the lifetime of the loan and targets company's sustainability goals, and they should also ensure the improvement of the KPIs. And the accomplishment of the SPTs is linked to favorable economic treatment. For instance, the waste reduction by 10% result in a favorable loan condition, or maybe the lower interest rates. So in terms of reporting, at least once per annual, the SPTs should be monitored, and the borrowers needs to be informed about the development. And finally, borrowers must use external and independent verification to prove the performance level against SPTs and KPIs. Basically, using sustainability-linked loans will bring similar advantage like using green loans. However, since the use of proceeds principle does not apply, greenwashing may become easier for sustainability-linked loans. The differences between sustainability-linked loan principle and green loan principles are as follows. And first, the green loan principle includes the use of proceeds, whereas the sustainability-linked loan principle do not include these requirements. And second, the application of the SLLPs may be more complex since KPIs, SPTs, and loan characteristics have to be defined. Third, the SLPs is a framework created to enable the transformation of a company to a more sustainable future for a holistic standpoint, and the proceeds do not have to exclusively allocated to green projects. But green loans is a framework which ensures that all proceeds are only used to finance green project. So basically, with sustainability-linked loans, you can use the money for other purposes, but for green loans, you can only use the money for green projects. And green loans require transparency about how the projects are selected and how the funds are allocated, and thus green loans are exclusively used to finance green projects. And according to the sustainability-linked loan principle, sustainability-linked loans do not require the use of proceeds model. The proceeds can be used to finance green projects, but also projects for general corporate purposes. And compared to green loans, the requirement for sustainability-linked loans is the fulfillment of the sustainability performance targets, and also if the targets are met, the borrower is, for instance, rewarded with a lower loan interest rate, as we have discussed it. So if the purpose of the investment is financing of specific green projects like building a solar panel, where the money can be easily tracked, and then green loan is more suitable. And if the proceeds of the loan are not clearly or not only used to finance green projects, but also other corporate projects, and if the investor wants to focus more on sustainability performance targets, and then a sustainability linked loan is a better choice. As you can see, the using a sustainability linked loan is rising, but the use of green loans is declining. This could be explained by the stricter restrictions on the green loans, and also the publication of the sustainability-linked loan principle in 2019 gives legitimacy and credibility to those loans, and which result in a significant increase of using them. And as you can see in the graph, the 2019 is actually the breakpoints. Slide 16 to slide 19 introduced several practical examples of green loans and sustainability-linked loans. And for example, DNB, a Norwegian bank, finances investment with sustainable solutions, where the DNB's framework is based on the green loan principles. And primary projects the bank supports include green building, energy efficiency, waste management, and so on. So we can see that green loans usually have clear use of proceeds restriction. And here is another example about green loans, but in Italy, and you can read through it. And then in Denmark, we have the scale banks. Sustainability linked loans are used to align financing with the borrower's strategical sustainability objectives. And meanwhile, the loan cost is based on the preset sustainability objective. This confirms the knowledge we introduced. So basically, so the long term for sustainability linked loans are associated with the sustainability objective performance. Finally, rating agencies like Sustainalytics have building sustainability linked loan program, and professional agencies have improved the quality of loan design and ensure better compliance with the principles. To sum up, so green loan finance green project in whole or in part, and there are several frameworks to classify green loans as green. A well-known framework is green loan principle, and sustainability linked loans contrast green loans. They are not used to finance a specific project, but used to finance holistic measures to increase the sustainability performance of a company. And also the use of proceeds principle only applies for green loans. So this is the end of this chapter. Thank you so much for your attention, and see you next time.